Hello and welcome to Squirrel Speaks. Today is Tuesday, November 24th, and this is episode 100. Greater than 150, less than 165. I'm the fat squirrel, also known as Amy Beth. Maybe you should reverse that, because I actually am Amy Beth. But I am known as the fat squirrel on Ravelry and the fat SQRL on Instagram. Confusion of identities. So this week's episode will contain some knitting, but I really have to admit, not that much. Some knitting adjacent project, and a small shameless self-promotion update thing that I talk about. Okay, hawking my wares and whatnot. So let's get into it. Shenanigans, there really haven't been any. I've been sewing a lot. Which is awesome because I'm barreling through until like after the holiday. Everything's really crazy until after it's Thanksgiving in the US on Thursday. Today's Tuesday. And I do not host Thanksgiving. I go to my mother's house and she takes care of everything. And like I would happily make something, but there is never a need to. It would be like the diamonding of the gilding of the lily. Like it would just not be necessary at all. So like that is no stress. I host Friendsgiving, which is our Mexican fiesta del Friendeos, which is that's not real Spanish, kids. But I host that the day after Thanksgiving. So then there's that to get taken care of too, and there's sewing, and then. So, and then like, I just have had not good knitting mojo. It's not like I've been working 24 hours a day. Please. I'm not that driven. Okay. Slow down. It's not like I've been like knitting 24 hours a day, but I'm just not, I don't know what happens. Either I'm too tired or like I'm really fidgety lately. I don't know what that's about. I think there's things I want to do in our house and like, I'm very fidgety right now trying to figure out what they are and what order they should go in and how that should happen. Maybe that's making me fidgety. I don't know, but I am so fidgety. It's ridiculous. And usually you think, oh, knitting will help the fidgety. It's not. It's just not enough to counter the normal fidgety level. It's like extreme fidgety. Extreme knitting, apparently. So hopefully I will get more knitting done next week. Hopefully. So the next time I have a podcast in 2 weeks, I might have some more stuff to show you. But for now, that's all. Oh, shenanigans. The only shenanigans I had that in my fidgety. Confessions. In my fidgetiness, I was convinced that I had to go to IKEA. Do you do this? Like in your mental fidget? That you just get yourself... I know some of you do. Some of you are like, you're crazy, but that's okay. We can still be friends. But the middle fit, like where you just fixate on this like concept or idea and it has to happen. And like, I'm usually a very logical person. Like, I'm a Virgo rising. Like, I'm logical, people. I'm a Cancer. But it's tempered by my Virgo. So I like to overthink some stuff in a crazy way. But sometimes the overthinking then like turns into like spiral vortex of doom thinking. Right? Sometimes it's self-hatred, but not always. Sometimes it's that you can convince that you have to go IKEA, which is 2 hours away from my house. But gas, in my defense, is only $1.75 a gallon right now. I know that does not excuse the use of fossil fuels. I'm sorry, I know it doesn't, but anyway. So the mental fidget was that I had to go to IKEA. It had to happen. And there were like lots of forces that made it have to happen. Thanksgiving was coming. It was the weekend before Thanksgiving. We were going to get a snowstorm on Saturday, so that was out. I couldn't go there on Saturday. Then on Sunday, who knows what could be happening on Sunday. And it's the Sunday before Thanksgiving, so it's going to be really busy. People are trying to buy new fancy linens, right? Can't go then. Can't go next week because can't go during the day. I mean, technically I could get my kids on the bus and go to IKEA and come back. It should be, but it's a little tight for my scheduling preferences. Because what happens if there's a crazy traffic meltdown or something with your car happens? I can't do that. That's crazy talk. Then it's going to be Thanksgiving. Can't go on Thanksgiving weekend. We do not leave the house Thanksgiving weekend. We do not leave. I'm not about buying some stuff online, but we do not leave the house Thanksgiving weekend, except to go to Thanksgiving. So that's out. Then we're back to school. Then it's like, so anyway, basically what was happening is if I did not go on the day I went, I was never going to get to go to IKEA again, ever in the world. Right? So it became this like vortex of insanity in my brain. I really try to get out of the consumption treadmill game. The consumption treadmill. Doesn't that sound like it'd be a fun thing for Milton Bradley and Solo Flex, like combined? No. And I really try to not be on the consumption treadmill, but sometimes my brain melts and I do. So I was convinced that I had to go because again, I'm in this like winter nesting mode and I need to tidy things and repaint, and because clearly you should repaint in December, right? My husband is like, what are you thinking? I'm like, this is the only time you're going to be home and I'm not going to be working. It's the only time we can paint. Anyway. So like all of this ridiculousness. I mean, again, have I painted the house? My child is now almost 9. Have I painted the house in 8 years, 9 years? No, I haven't. But now I've got to do it right now. Right now! I also have to go to IKEA right now. Okay, but that was a long buildup of ridiculousness. But you know what? If you're crazy, I'm there with you. It's okay. That was a long build-up to say that IKEA by yourself. It is amazing to go to IKEA by yourself. So awesome. Now, I've gone to the IKEA like on the way to something else where I was literally like going to aisle 4, bin 28. And like that's all I was doing. And so I ran in and got the aisle 4, bin 28 and then got back out in like 15 minutes. Okay, I've done that run before, but this is the first time that I like went and I was going to have a moment or 12 or as many as I wanted, quite frankly. And then I was gonna like, I had a list of all the things I wanted to get. There's not that many, and it sounds like I have like 75 things I was gonna get. But like, we needed to do some stuff with closets and things. Anyway, you don't need to know the particulars, but there was a list of like, 4 or 5 items that I was really convinced that we had to have on that day. We did not need to have them on that day. Do you understand that I realize I'm ridiculous? But on Friday, it was not ridiculous. On Friday, it was on. It had to happen. Anyway, so it was so fun. I did not get, I got some cookies that were not on my list. And I got like one other thing that was not on my list. I can't remember what it was, but it was like a less than $10 item that was not on my list. So I only got the things on my list. However, and in fact, I didn't get some of the things on my list. However, intentionally, by the way, not like oopsie, I got to look at everything in a slow and leisurely and logical way. It was amazing. So amazing. It's very hard to look for organizational items when your mind is not organized. Do you know what I mean? Like when you have a partner who's like really clearly not interested in being in this place, who may only be there to carry heavy things. And like a child who's all like, like I won $27,005 stuffed animals, blah, 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 So it was amazing. And I drove 2 hours each way by myself, which was also pretty sweet. I had a moment when I was leaving the IKEA when I was not listening to my normal station because again, it's in an adjacent city. So I was listening to the rock station that was in Cincinnati, 96 something or other. And they were playing Nirvana and I was in my minivan and I feel like I was wearing like some yoga pants and a fleece vest in my 15-year-old minivan and rocking out to Nirvana. And I was just like, I had a brief like millisecond of like, I'm such a unique and fun person. And then I was like, I am like every other person in the world that's 37. Oh, but it was fun anyway. It was exciting. By myself. Woo! Anyway, so So that was very exciting. I guess I should talk about knitting and spinning. This was really supposed to be a very short episode. And here I am yammering on about IKEA, but IKEA's fun. Just touch. Sub-touch. Okay, so let's talk about some knitting and spinning. Not spinning. That was a lie. I don't know why I felt like I didn't see that word. Okay, so I finished, full disclosure, about 3 minutes ago. So the ends are not woven in and it's not blocked. So stop with your Judgey pants. Take them off. It's almost Thanksgiving. They're too tight anyway. Take off your Judgey pants. Is that the title of the show? Can I remember that? No, I can't. Anyway. I should write it. My husband's to-do list, which, by the way, he's not done anything on, is right here. And I should really just try to find a pen and write, take off your Judgey pants. They're too tight anyway. Because then he'll be like, what is going on? Also because his pants are getting a little too tight. And he's super skinny. It's taken me 10 years, but he's finally gained 10 pounds. I have gained more than 10 pounds. Oh. Anyway. So the first thing that I finished is my Foolproof by Louise Zass-Bangham, inspired by Hello Yarn. This is, so normally the Foolproof is written, it's written like as a plug in whatever you want kind of pattern. There's two versions. There's the like, this is what this finished object was created using this pattern. There's that pattern and it's striped. It's 2 colors of fingering weight yarn as you stripe together. And then there's also just a generic like, do what you want. This is how you achieve that. Like meta pattern, like a easy style pattern. This is hand spun from Nest Fiber Studios. They're like the little nestlets. I feel like every time I say Nest, their business name, I say it something different. By the way, I also know last time Koopy of Rachel Koopy, I feel like I said, well, I know I said because somebody called me out on it. I feel like I said Sarah Koopy a lot apparently. I do really know things sometimes, not all the times. 30% of the time I do know things. And sometimes my mouth just is like, no, we're going to make you look like an idiot today. I'm like, oh. Anyway, Foolproof. Hand spun. It's awesome. Yow. So you cast on like you're casting on for a shawl. Do you see that happening? And you make the shawl, but then you were like, oh, triangle. Now I don't want you anymore, and I'm going to go sideways with you. And you just work on one side of the triangle. And then when you're all done, you have 2 things that are going this way. And then you just make a triangle in the middle. What? In verso style. The only thing I did differently than the pattern is that on her triangle, she actually does yarn overs in the pattern on both of them, like on the beginning and the ending. She does yarn overs, and I don't mind the way it looks, but I don't particularly like the way the yarn overs look because they're the only yarn overs in the whole pattern. So I'm kind of like, yeah, about those yarn overs. So I just do a regular increase. In fact, I just do knit front back because it's garter stitch. Hello. And then on the oppo side, the opposite side. On the oppo side. On the oppo side, she also has you do the yarn overs and you just counteract them with extra decreases, but I just don't do those. Okay? Okay. So this is not blocked, ends are not woven in, etc., etc. I ran out of my hand spun and had to use something else right here. And it's actually a hand spun and a little bit of Miss Babs jellyfish left over. Whatever, it looks fine. Because hand spun's fun that way. Just kind of try to match a tone, and that's all you need to do. So anyway, it's a great pattern. It's super fun. If I had been with the program, as they say, I would have weighed my yarn and then done my initial triangle, weighed it again, seen how much yarn I had, therefore how much I used to make the initial triangle, and would have made sure I had that much left at the end. But that was just not living on the edge enough for me. very pleased with it. Again, not blocked, not woven ends, nothing. But it's fun. And it's snuggly, and it's garter stitch. And it's all the good things. Okay, this hat, by the way, I forgot to mention it, is the Excess. I don't know who the pattern is by, but it's on Ravelry. And it is knit out of Moonrover, her fingering weight yarn. I feel like it's Wyld. I can't remember, but I think it's Wyld. And this is the Shipwreck colorway. Okay. By the way, she's had it in DK in her shop, and it's been really hard not to buy any. I don't need any single skeins of DK. Wait, come on. But it's still tempting. Still so tempting. Okay. More knitting. I was sent this yarn from BCY. It's her 12 color stripe in the saturated sock self-striping base, which is enough 25% nylon, 75% superwash merino, 4-ply. And this is Cloudy Rain. So again, that's BCY, and it's an Etsy. She has an Etsy shop. It's berry colorful yarning, and it's an Etsy. So if you just search berry, like berries from a vine or a bush, I guess. Either one, whatever. Stop judging. I told you those pants were too tight. Take them off. So here it is so far. I am on double points. I am almost exclusively a magic looper, but I have so many socks with the needles right now that I had to break it to double points. Now, that's not to say, I actually do enjoy knitting on double points, and I'll get on a double point kick where I'll knit a bunch of socks on double points. It's not like I'm against them. I feel like I knit faster sometimes on the other one, Magic Loop on circulars. It's just like shampoo though. I feel like sometimes you have to switch it up. You know what I mean? Like if you get in a shampoo rut and then they're out of that shampoo or just random, the other one's on sale or something. By the way, I've been trying to use bar shampoo. I'm kind of liking it so far. I'm reserving judgment though. Trying not to use as many chemicals. Anyway, but you know how when you change your brand for some reason and suddenly your hair is like all gorgeous faced? It's kind of like that. So sometimes you just need to switch up your needle technique because then you're like, oh, magic. So this is her 12 color, and you can see it's like a nice overwash. This gray is a contrasting gray that she sent me as well. It's all that color. So, so how many do I have? 6 stripes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm on my 7th stripe. I'm going to finish this stripe, and then I'm going to do Just Run It's. Who is Megan of the Stockinette Zombies. I'm going to do her Spacious OMG heel from the top down, which I've never done before. I've done the Spacious OMG from the bottom up, but these socks are a gift, and for gifts, I prefer to do cuff down socks. I know, right? Whatever. I feel like it's easier to get the fit right on a cuff down. For me, I like the toe up because I know how big my foot is. By the way, I'm so hungry all of a sudden. Okay, I'm going to see some. But I find it easier to get fit correct, and then it's easier to adjust the fit. Like if you make it for the person and they are they're bold enough. That's exactly what I was going to say. They're bold enough to tell you that it's a little too short. You can just take the toe out and then make it a little bit longer, which is much easier than, well, I'm not taking out a cuff and a heel. That's silly. So anyway, that's so far. Isn't that pretty? I love muted striping yarn. Because I really like striping yarn, but sometimes I'm like, that's too much of a party for my face right now. I need some calmer yarn. Not all the time, sometimes. And so I like that. Isn't that pretty? So anyway, she's got a couple different colorways she's doing now in like a regular and an overdyed, so you can see the difference. But I'm liking that so far. Yay, that. And so again, that's Cloudy Rain. And then the other thing I just show you, I really shouldn't even show you, but I'll just show you for shame. I'll just shame myself. Is my West Knits 2015 knit along, the Doodler. By the way, every time I see it, I want to say the dude, like the Doodler. Anyway, so I'm knitting mine with Socks Yeah by Coop Knits. And the gray color is Low Light. And the yellow color is Sphene. I just broke into my second ball of yarn, and I'm almost, these are 50 gram skeins, by the way. I just broke into my second 50-gram ball. Most people are like, I'm out of color A. I don't know. I mean, obviously it's a gauge thing, but my gauge is not tighter than is recommended in the pattern. I have no idea. I'm not completely done yet. I'm almost done with the last wedge though. I know, see, look. I should have cried spoilers, but I'm still on clue 1, so it's really, clue 3 has been released. Right, I'm such a slacker. Again, I've had time in it, I just have not had the will. I've not had the will. Anyway, so here it is so far. I love the Coop Knits. It's very nice yarn. It has a good drape. I did do my I-cord edging a little tighter than is ideal, but there is more knitting that comes on this edge. So this is not a final edge, and so I think I'm safe because it's going to help that. Okay. If nothing else, just make it curl under, which is not a terrible thing. But so now I'm kind of afraid that my Doodler is too small there. But if it is, that's fine. I'll just find a petite friend and give it away. But it's real pretty. And it is very fun to knit. I just have not been in the right headspace. So anyway, so there's that. Yay! Coop Knits, she's awesome. So that's all of the knitting I have to show you. Then I have one knitting adjacent project that I will show you. If you're not on Instagram, you might not know about this. Get on Instagram. Juniper Moon Farms, who is a yarn company, has a pop-up Etsy shop. So you can just Google Juniper Moon Farms Etsy. And they are selling these. I should have just brought a plain one over. I didn't even think to do it. Surprise, I didn't think to do something. They are selling these super cute little wooden cutouts. I bought them in the initial run, in which they, look, this one sheep is just so wiggly. I love you! I bought them in the original run in which they only had sheep and alpacas. The alpaca, see him in the yellow sweater? I'm not really even a fan of alpaca, but the alpaca was so fancy and so dandy that I had to have him too. I don't know why I feel like he's so fancy, but he really is. So this sheep has 3 different sheep. There's like a big mama sheep, and there's like a tiny baby sheep, and then there's like an adolescent sheep. I'm just making that up, but there's 3 different sizes of sheep in the sheep. But now they have also added goats and bunnies and llamas. So you get like a whole herd. And they do, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm almost positive that at one point I checked and they had an option where you could order 1 unit and you would get like some of each of the animals, which is super awesome. But originally, and you can also purchase them in, I think they had them in quantities of 10, quantities of 50, quantities of 100. So, I don't know. Oh, they also have little stands that you can put their feet in, and then they will stand up. If you had shells. I don't have any shells. I have lots of shells, but only for yarn, books, and board games. But if you have shells where you like display things, that's a clever thing, then you could put them on the little stands. They would stand up and be so flippin' cute. You could like have an advent calendar with them in it. How cute would that be? You should do that right now. Olive agrees. You need to make an advent calendar, and each day has a little creature in it. And then, oh my gosh, if you have a kid who likes to do stuff, then you put a tiny ball of leftover yarn in there, and the kid can wrap the animal in its sweater and put it in its little stand and put it out in a little display area. Oh my gosh, right. How cute would that be? Or you could do it as an adult, which I may. Gosh, I have no display areas, but I really want to do that. Would that be cute and fun? Ah! Anyway, like then you could make like a paper barn. Okay, shush. Anyway, Susan B. Anderson, who's of course the most awesome human being ever in the knitting world, except for all the other human awesomeness peoples, but she's really top 1%, right? She's 99th percentile awesome. Has also created a pattern so you can knit sweaters for the 3 sheepies and the 1 alpaca-y. Aww. Or you can just be lazy like me and just wrap them in yarn. I am going to make some sweaters, but I wanted a fast project because I needed a fast project. So I made this wreath. Don't laugh at my bow. My mother was a florist. I can tie a real bow, but it's impossible. Okay, it's not impossible. Somebody's going to do it. Make me look like a fool. It's very challenging to tie a bow out of roving, which for some reason in my head had to be done. So there's a nice little roving bow that hangs down. And then my little guys, I just wrapped them in the yarn and then just used the tails to tie them onto the wreath. So you could also make them if you wanted to make them like a hanging. And I know that I need one right here. No, other side. I know that I need one right there. As soon as I took a picture of it, I was like, oh my gosh, it's naked right there. What was I going to say? Also, I do want to make some ornaments in which they have little knitted jumpers. But this, I just needed a fast project. I needed some quick. And then my little wreath has lights on it that I got from Amazon that run on a battery. I'll try to show you without dropping. Where's the button? There it is. So it has lights. Okay. Right. It's like 8 different light things. It's crazy. It runs on C-cell batteries. It's bonkers. I'm very excited. By the way, this is only even more interesting because I'm just going to turn these off. I'm just trying to get through. This is more funny, more hilarious because I've had the same wreath on our door for like 5 years at least. I want to be a person who has like a decorated home with like lovely things on the wall and it's like all together. But like, I'm also excessively practical, which that's really not even the great word for it because I'm not, because then I go to IKEA randomly on a Friday. But when my logical mind has time to think about something, I'm like, oh, that is not necessary. It's like I either buy things in like a total hurricane of throwing money away, or I'm the most stodgy, tight-fisted person in the world. Like I have no in-between speed. It's really not good. Anyway, that was all. That was confessions. This whole podcast is a taxi cab confession. But that is to say that I had the same forever. So anyway, but this is, I got this is just a little fake wreath from Target. I think it was like $8. It's the plain one. And then there's roving bow. And then there's the lights. Those were purchased. But everything was just scrap yarn. It's so fun to use scrap yarn. So I think I'm going to do 2 things. I think I'm going to use I'm going to knit some jumpers. Because it's fun. Maybe. And then I think in my head, I want to make a garland with some. I don't know if that's going to work or not, but I really want it to happen. I may leave those. I don't know. We may paint those. Maybe we should paint sweaters on them. Or we could wrap them. That would be cute too. But I think it would be fun to make a garland out of them. This is my only fear. Because I'm 13. Or 7, quite frankly. My original thought was like, oh, I'll just drill a little, because anytime I get to use a power tool, I'm very excited about life. Again, why do I like IKEA? Because I really enjoy putting things together. Anyway, so I thought I would use a drill and just drill holes on one end of the sheep and the other, and then just run like a lacing through them essentially. But then I was like, farm animals with a hole in the butt. 7-year-old self, can you handle that? I don't know. So I haven't decided. Maybe I could make them like a hang. Ooh. Maybe I could make them like the vertical garland. Maybe I could make a beaded garden out of my wooden sheep. But maybe. I'm ridiculous. But that would be so fun, right? Like the South American, like the little birds or chickens. What are those things that are on that vertical garland? I don't know. Do you remember Pier 1? They had those all the time when I was a kid. Anyway, but you could do that with like sheep. Wouldn't that be cute? You could make some festive stuff, or you could do some crazy core spinning. Oh my gosh, have you seen that Lala knits and Colorado. Linzim. That's right. They've totally done the Periscope on core spun lights or Instagram. I can't remember. I think Periscope one and Instagram the other. But they're core spinning Christmas lights. Right? That's so festive. So anyway, just core spin some Christmas lights. Throw some wooden sheep wrapped in yarn on there. Have the most wool-tastic Christmas ever. Or winter holiday. I don't care. Happy whatever. If you're happy, I'm happy. Because if you put more happiness into the world, more gratitude into the world, everything will be better for everyone. It helps you have an open heart. Just saying. Anyway, so that's all the, oh, and then I have a shop update. Self-interest sneaks in. So there'll be a shop update on Saturday, and that's the Saturday after United States Thanksgiving, which now I'm not sure about the date. I feel like I want to say the 28th. It's the 28th, right? Yeah, Small Business Saturday is November 28th at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. I will have an update. It will not be a huge update, but it will be an update. It's a pretty big update. I'm not judging. It's a decent size update. But it will be almost all sock bags. So you want to sit there? Of course you do. So there's this exciting, trees in snow globes kind of thing. But they're like fancy Martha Stewart trees and fancy Martha Stewart snow globes. Only the fanciest for y'all. And it's got exciting snowflakes inside. Snow globe. And then you're like, I love them ever so much. I may have post-it notes shaped like them. I'm just saying. Inside they have, what? Snowflakes? So all of these I feel like I would be comfortable using all of the bags that will be in Saturday's update throughout the winter. I tried to do it so that they wouldn't look too holiday-centric. And this one is slightly holiday-centric, but come on, not really. It's trees. Come on, shush. And then there's a crazy Downton Abbey one. Sometimes I'm just crazy. So this one has like the gold case. It's, wow! And then inside it says Downton Abbey with some holly. Almost Downton Abbey time. Come on. Last season, I haven't even watched the last actual produced season in the US. I need to get on that though. I do want to share in the joy. Oh my gosh, British Bake Off, I love you. Anyway, BBS. So then there's some cuppas. You can get some cuppa cocos. And inside they have exciting candies. Peppermint swirly goodness. So there's those guys. Again, very wintry. I may have kept one of these for myself. I don't know what the deer trend, like deer is like a big trend, I guess. I don't care if it's a trend or not. I enjoy it ever so much. I enjoy all woodland animal trends though. I'm glad that there's a consistent like woodland animal option. Hedgehogs, foxes, deer. I'm excited about it. I don't care. Just pick a new one. I'm going to go with it. I'll go with it. It's fine. Badgers, please. Can I insert badgers into the request line? I would really like to queue up some badgers. Anyway. So how cute is that? Oh my gosh, a good tie with the bird and the deer and the leaves and the snowflakes. And then inside some fun blue dots. And then the last, but certainly not least, narwhals. And these are not just your common everyday narwhal, which who cares about those, right? Narwhals are magical. But these are even more magical because they're like stitcherly narwhals. Do you see that? They're not knitty, but they are textured in some way that looks like stitching. And of course the snowflakes look like they're stitched. Right? Ah! I usually really avoid white fabrics, but come on. Narwhals. And then the best is the inside, it kind of looks like a Nordic sweater. Again, they are not, the prints are not made to look like they're knitted stitches. They are just a, but it has the sweater feel. You know what I mean? Like it's got a Dale and Norway feel to it. And then technically last, that was the last sock bag. But then I will also have some more knitting pajama bags. They will only be in the slot. this large wedge size. There will be a limited number. Obviously, there's a limited number of everything. But they went very fast at the first update, which was awesome. But I had some fabric that I just couldn't get sewn, like I couldn't get to it. So I saved it back and we'll have them on Saturday as well. So if you wanted knitted pajama, and these are just unbleached inside. If you wanted pajama bag, I don't blame you, because quite frankly they are quite cute. There will also be some of those. Just saying. Just saying. So anyways, that will be Saturday, November 28th. I believe it's 28th. It's Saturday no matter what. At 9 a.m. Eastern time. What time zone do I live in? Who knows? Really should be Central, but it's Eastern. It's Eastern. Okay. I think that's all. I hope you have a lovely holiday if you're in the U.S. If you're not in the U.S., I hope you have a great Thursday. I'll be sending thanks out into the world. I hope you can do the same. Talk to you later.